What's going on, everybody? I know you missed me. We have been off the air for 2 weeks, but we're so excited to be back on and be giving you, excuse me, I've been tongue tied, and giving you exactly what you want every week. Each and every week, we come on Tuesday or Thursdays to discuss sports. We should be expecting my sports correspondent, Kendall Spears, to be coming in the studio in just a couple of minutes. But listen, there's a lot of things we got to talk about in sports, especially in the world of football. The NFL, as you already know, is getting underway this Thursday, where we're going to have a beautiful matchup between the Tampa Bay Bucks and the Dallas Cowboys. But I ain't here to talk about that. You can talk to another sports correspondent about the Dallas Cowboys. I do not talk about the Dallas Cowboys, nor do I like what they stand or represent. We're going to be talking today some of the things that's going on with free agency, some of the trades that have been happening. We got a lot of things to discuss. But first things first, let's get some things started. My name is Leonard III. Many of you know me all across the country, all the time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I am on your Twitter feed every night, Tuesdays and Thursdays, from the hours of 8 to 10 p.m. You can see me. We're streaming live, even right now on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and of course on Periscope with Twitter. Listen, I want to take this time out. If you've seen the news over the last week or so, last Sunday, which was the 16th year anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Ida came into the southeast Louisiana region and totally devastated it. And so, as we're continuing with this program, I live here in southeast Louisiana. My correspondent, Kim Spears, lives here in southeast Louisiana. We're both here in the New Orleans region. We want you to really give some prayers to the victims that are there, are going through this trying time and evacuating and all these processes that we had to go through for the last couple of weeks. We want you to have some prayers for the victims. Many people who have died because of not being able to go into the proper facilities and all these different things, even with the storm. And of course, the people who are still displaced, we want you to give your prayers and your condolences to them. And we thank you and appreciate you for doing that. Listen, Kendall, I believe you're on live. You're with me live. How are you doing? Kendall Spears, are you there, sir? I think we have some
Hello, hello.
Yes, sir. We got him in. We got him live. Kendall, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing all right, man. You know.
I want to talk about the first discussion. I know you know about it now. Latavius Murray is out, and we have our new second pick in Tony Jones Jr. Do you think that was a good pick by the New Orleans Saints?
Yes, of course. He's gonna be way cheaper, and he was running hard. The guy looked great in the preseason, so I think that says Sean Payton is seeing great things in this kid and really believes in him. So I think that was definitely a good move to make. So I think our backfield, is gonna be all right.
Okay. I like that, Ken. I like what you're just saying about that. I really want to go into a little bit more details. What did you see with Adam Jones Jr. that you didn't see with Latavius Murray? When you look at Latavius Murray's stats, there was a lot of things to say that, third downs, fourth down, he was our bruiser. He was the guy that Sean Payton would, basically get him in formation, usually go in the I formation or just go back with a power and just try to power the ball down to make touchdowns. He had 656 yards last year, and also in 2019 he had 637 yards, both off of 146 attempts. Last year, 4 touchdowns. 2019, 5 touchdowns. What do you think Sean Payton's seen this year about Jones that he said, you know what, we got to get Murray the boot? What do you see the difference between Jones and Murray where Payton said, you know what, at this time, we've got to get rid of Murray? What are you seeing that maybe we didn't see?
Well, from the preseason production,
Yes, absolutely.
Latavius just wasn't really making it happen, and we know what he brings to the table. He's definitely that bruiser, that guy who comes in on third and short and can fight for those extra yards. But This kid looks great, man. He looks good out there. You know, he looks tough. He looks like he runs with power. So if you can get the same, even if it's a little bit less than what Latavius is giving you, if you can get that for a fifth of the price, you got to work with that. You know, considering our cap situation,
Yes,
we're
of course.
still paying Drew Brees. You know, he still got a cap hit. Taysom Hill, his cap hit's kind of big. He's getting a lot of money. You know, so we gotta play these cap games just so we can stay underneath or as close as underneath as we can get. Um, so I just think it's gonna be a person who's gonna give you a lot of value.
Yeah, yeah, great. I definitely agree. I want to stay there with the topic of Latavius Murray. Um, do you think over last year that he dwindled production, or you just think for the New Orleans Saints system, he has not really got acclimated with the system? What are you seeing on your end games every week with Latavius Murray? You know, I like Murray. I like what he's done. To me, I believe that he's just haven't got enough touches. To me, I think they've been trying to find some things to make him and Kamara work. But you may be seeing some other things on your side. What are you saying right now? Sean Payton could not work with Murray in the system. Do you think it was just mostly money? You thought it was just mostly the reason because of money and they wanted to free up cap space? That was the reason why Murray got the boot?
I think that's probably the main reason, but I wouldn't say his production necessarily started to go. I wouldn't say the production really was going like that far down. He was, he was still producing for what we wanted from him. For your second back, 600 yards is good enough. Like for your number two running back, if he's over 500 yards, that's a decent amount of production. That's going to serve you well. So 600 yards, that's pretty good because you still got Kamara, who's going to give you about 600 to 800 yards on the ground and another 6 to 8 in the air. So to have that extra person back there. But man, you can't beat young legs, bro, especially at the running back position. Just having that youth explosion, that just you can't beat it. That's why that position is usually pretty young. You don't have a whole lot of 30-year-old running backs, 35-year-old running backs. People like Frank Gore and Adrian Peterson. They're the aberrations. They're the people who excel and who seem to be able to last that long or last as long as they did, right?
Yeah. Uh, Now, looking at Jones, and you may want to correct me on this, but just from my observation of what I've seen from him, he's more of a finesse back. He's very similar to Kamara. We used Murray more of as a power back. Um, do you think Jones is going to be able to use some of those third and fourth down situations to create power situations where he'll be able to run it in his zone? Have you seen that from him at this time where you've been watching the preseason?
I mean, I think so. I think that's going to be his role. I think he'll definitely be that person who comes in on the third round, on the third downs to fight for those extra yards, to fight for those tough yard situations. Now, it's not that Kamara can't do that, but if you can break it up some and have somebody else come in and do something there in those moments, some fresh legs, a different run style, keep the defense on his heels. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. If I had to go to projections, what are you looking at from Jones this year? Do you think he has the capability of being that sub 700 to 900 back? Even though we know Kamara probably get 1,000 yards, do you believe that he has the ability to get those 700 or the 900 yards? And do you believe that he has the ability to get more touchdowns this year than Murray had last year of 4 and 5 touchdowns?
Um, Well, I don't know if he's going to get more touchdowns just for if the opportunities are going to be there. With Kamara and Jameis Winston slinging that thing for 40-yard bombs. So I don't know if he's going to get too many goal line attempts with those two guys out there. So he may not have the touchdowns, but I think he will still grind out, about 500-600 yards this year.
Okay. I think that's a good enough production for them to be able to do something, especially in the playoffs and create splash. Kendall, from your observation, what do you think is the Saints' weakest link on offense? We talked a little bit about the defensive side of the ball last week. What do you think is their weakest link on offense? And to me, I believe it's the receiver core because we just don't have the depth. Maybe you see something in the running back core, or maybe you see something that quarterback. Everybody's saying that the quarterback play. But I think that James Winston was flash this year. You read on Facebook, I did have a chance to see that you thought that James Winston might even get $100 million contract.
Oh yeah.
What you talking about that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the weakest part of the offense is the halfbacks or the fullback maybe, because other than that, we solid. The wide receiver definitely is a problem. They were missing Michael Thomas, which is a big help, but it looks like Marquez Callaway is going to be a solid receiver out there who can beat man coverage. Then you're going to have Taysom Hill back in his, slot role, right? So he can do a few things there. I think we still have Ty Montgomery, who's going to be a full-time wide receiver for us this time. So he's been in that kind of dual wide receiver running back role. So maybe we do a lot more trick plays or jet sweeps, right? Because then he can get into that running back position from the wide receiver spot on the field, right? So
yeah.
I think our wide receiver core could still be solid considering Kamara's still a big part of the catching game. So I think it'll be solid. I think it'll be fine. I don't really think we have too many weaknesses, but yeah, clearly the wide receiver is the weakest part.
Yeah, I believe that. Thomas coming back. We don't know how he's going to play. We don't know if he's going to gel with Winston, and we know Saquon Smith has been dealing considerably with injuries over his career. So there's just a lot of missing pieces. You got a lot of Hogan and all these different players that's going through injuries, and that's going to be a concern for the season. That's one of the things that I've been looking at is just with the receiver play. I think at running back we're going to be okay. Definitely with Kamara if he does not get hurt. But there's just a lot of questions that need to be answered for the Saints. And that's why I'm just a little bit iffy. I do believe that Sean Payton has put together a terrific team. I think they're going to do well. I think they're going to do excellent. I do think they're going to be able to go into playoffs. My concern is just basically, like you said, the wide receiver play. And I think Jameis Winston is going to do good because I think Sean Payton is going to put him in a position to do good, knowing that he's the guy that has been picked. I mean, national television, it was a Monday night game for everyone to see all across the country. And so he had no other decision but to make, but put Winston as the starting quarterback because there was nothing that you could see from Hill. We talked a little bit about this on last week. It was just abysmal to see what he's done over the last couple of weeks in the preseason. I want to go and switch gears to here.
But hold on, one more thing.
Yeah, what's the question?
Definitely forgot about the tight end, the kid Johnson or Joseph, something like that.
Troutman? Is his name Troutman?
No. It's the wide receiver who switched over.
Okay, yeah.
Troutman was the guy we drafted last year.
Yeah, last year.
But it's a new guy. It's like Jay Johnson or something like that. He looks solid, man. He looked strong. He looked like whenever he was running with the ball, he covered up real heavy. So, he knows what happened last year. So he's being real cognizant of that fact. He don't want to fumble. He look like a fool.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. I think that's going to also help out the passing attack quite a bit.
Yeah, I think so. I think we have a team that is very balanced. I think we're going to have a team that's going to make limited mistakes. The question, of course, everybody wants answered is Winston. And I think Winston is going to get it together. He has an offensive, people say the offensive guru in Sean Payton. So he has that factor working with him. And I also think that Sean Payton is going to limit him from making mistakes just because even though I think the deep threat is going to be consideration, I don't think for the first couple of games he's just going to let him go gun-ho and just throw the ball all willy-nilly for 40, 50-yard passes. I think he's going to survey the Packers defense, see what they give him, and it makes decisions from there. That's why I believe that the Saints will win, but I think they're going to do a comfort-behind victory. What do you think for week 1 against the Packers?
Are you saying the Saints are going to beat the Packers?
They're going to beat the Packers, but it's going to be a come-from-behind victory.
Wow. Okay.
What are you looking at?
The Packers got the reigning MVP, right? You know that, huh?
I mean, that is great. I mean, but you have to understand, every year it's a new group of team. That's a new group of players that's playing every year, and you got to gel the new group of players. Of course, I know they have Devontae Adams. They have a lot of different structures that have already been in place that they've had over the last 3-4 years. Same coach, all these different things. Great. They went, I believe, to the NFC.
Got Greg LaFleur.
Yeah. Matt LaFleur.
Right.
They went to the NFC Championship, played the Bucs. All that great. We know what he can do. All great players. Great repertoire players could gel together. But what I see the Saints, even though it's not a home game, it's going to be Jacksonville. It is a home game for the Saints, but it's going to be in Jacksonville because of the storm, which I think is stupid. I think they should bring the boys back home just because the power's back on, baby. The lights are back on. We need to get this rolling back in the dome. But that's just my personal opinion. I know there's got other things, debris everywhere, things like that. But what I see from this New Orleans team, I think the defense is going to be the X factor in this season because they're going to pick it up knowing that Jameis Winston is not Drew Brees. He's a phenomenal player. He's just not Drew Brees. But I do believe that Jameis Winston is better than the Drew Brees that has been playing the last 3 years. I'm going to get you to reiterate. What do you think about that? Do you agree that Jameis Winston is the better than Drew Brees in his production over the last 3 years?
Well, I think he can be. I think he can be. You know,
I mean, last year, he's better than last year. So we gotta say he is better than. I mean, Drew Brees had a noodle arm last year, so we have to say he's better than last year.
At the very end of last year, but he was still very accurate, very precise.
Bro, did you see the play that he did to Kamara in week 1? I believe that was week 1 or week 2 against the Packers last year, where he didn't have nobody. That was guys open 30, he couldn't get it to him, so he did the dump off. That was the stupidest pass. It just Kamara made it work because he's just a phenomenal talent. Come on, man. You know Jameis Winston is better than Drew Brees of last year. Come on, we don't even have to argue that. Even though guy it will go to the Hall of Fame.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying Jameis can be. I'm not gonna say it yet, but I think it can happen. I think it can happen. I believe in Jameis, and so. If he can get through and play like he can play without the interceptions, if he give you everything he gave you last year would have the interceptions, it's a great year. So I think he can. We'll see how his short and intermittent passes look, and if he's putting it where it needs to be, leading the receivers in the right directions, things like that, and we'll see where it goes. But I think for now. He won't be worse. I don't think he'll be much worse.
I mean, nobody could be worse than that. What Drew Brees did. I mean, he's a great, phenomenal player and all, but come on. I mean, that was a pass that he did against Tampa Bay. It was just totally awful. Nothing against some great player, Hall of Fame talent, and we're truly thankful for Drew Brees. He's a great player. I hope he's enjoying retirement. But I think Jameis Winston is going to be the type of spark that we've been looking for. I think he's a guy that Sean Payton could work with. I think he's a hard worker. You see that basically from his body structure, how he's got himself in shape. I don't know what they were doing with him in Tampa Bay. I don't know what he was eating. He must have been eating that flounder and salmons and all these different tropical fish, all of them on that Gulf of Mexico up in Tampa because he was just totally big. Now he's got his body right. I think he's ready to be a leader. And one of the things that a lot of people don't talk about is he sat under Drew Brees and got to really feast off of what Drew Brees has done. I don't think Drew Brees and him had the amount of talks that Taysom Hill had with Drew Brees, but what he did got to see, he's got to see Drew Brees at work and at action, and I think that's going to help him a lot. He gets to see how Drew Brees mitigate mistakes and make plays happen. I think that's why Jameis is going to be better this year, better than Drew Brees, because he has the ability to throw those deep passes. I think Marquise Callaway is going to be a 1,300 to 1,400 yard receiver. Mike Thomas somewhere 850 to 970. He won't have the numbers that he had last year just because he don't have Drew Brees. They won't be looking for those short intermediate throws. I think Thomas is going to have to really get his own. He will be open more times than none. But I think the guy that's going to be here for the Saints is the guy that the Jameis have built the biggest repertoire with. And, of course, that's Marquise Callaway. I think it's going to be a show, and I'll give it back to you. What have you seen, Kendall, from those guys?
Well, I think Jameis Winston is going to put up big money yards this year.
Big money yards. I'm thinking that. We're going to say it here. We're going to hashtag that here. Wait, hold on, Kendall. We got to hashtag that here. We're going to write that right now on our primary text. Let's put it up. Big money yards. This is our new conversation. We're about to show that right now. Big money yards here live. You said it, Kendall. Big money yards. I like that.
And so I think in the first game against Green Bay, we're going to air it out. We coming at their neck. I think so. Like, I know everybody wants Jameis to be conservative, to try and not have the interceptions. But if you got a better scheme, people can be schemed open. You know what I mean? You can have that deep ball that's not always the 50-50 deep ball. One where somebody's kind of running almost open or got the one-on-one where it's a little more easy for the offensive player to capitalize on those situations. So I think Jameis is going to actually come out gunslinger mode, just with a better plan, a better scheme, and a better game plan, because it's a chess game. You got to play underneath so the over top opens up for you. And when you have such a dynamic player such as Kamara on the underneath, who you can dump it off to, who you can constantly drop down to when the deep ball is not looking like it needs to look, and wait for that moment. And that's what we're hoping that he learned from Drew Brees, right? Is that he can wait for that moment when it's actually there for you, instead of trying to force it when it's not there and just hoping that your guy's going to win the ball, because that's how he got a lot of those interceptions last year. He's throwing up jump balls, and then they're getting tipped in the air, and then another defensive player, catches the opportunity.
Half of his interceptions was by that. That's correct. Half of his interceptions was by that. So half of his interceptions were 50-50. Correct. So
that is that's a scheming situation.
Correct.
Where you're in a process where a lot of players are in those 50-50 balls, and you're just hoping Mike Evans can win out. And Drew's not that kind of guy. Bro, Devin Henderson wasn't the guy who's gonna jump over anybody, right? We had to scheme up plays to where he could run free, where he can get open and nobody really paying attention to him. These are the schemes that that Sean Payton used to run for us. And so when Drew's arm wasn't like that anymore, you got to switch it up. And so I think we're gonna go back to some of these more creative plays where we have a few people running wide open, and Sean's going to get to really play with the playbook like he hasn't been able to do in quite some time.
Kendall, we've been talking about the Saints for over 20 minutes. We know we can talk about the Saints for hours. You just gave me a topic, big money yards. I want to talk about some youngsters. We got Jameis Winston, who is a veteran, but we're going to treat him like a young player. That's because a lot of great young players that's going to be playing in the league today. Most of them, I want to start this topic, big money yards. The first guy I want to go with, Kyler Murray, the starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. Is he going to have big money yards this season? What do you say?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
What do you see from here?
That opening offense right there, they're really going off. He has
Yes.
D Hop this year.
Oh
He
yes.
got Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
Larry is a constant 600 yards every year. You know what I'm saying? And then D Hop, best hands in the game.
Best
You know, that's
hands.
my boy.
Sure hands, like we like to say.
And now you also got AJ Green over there.
Oh my God.
You know who AJ Green used to
Oh
be.
come on, man.
Now,
You
he
know
got lost the last 2 years.
it's all right. It don't matter. It don't matter.
But when you're
Hot
going up
topic
against the
corner.
number 3 or number 2 cornerback as opposed to the number 1 cornerback, you know, you can do a little better, maybe potentially. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
if he's playing against maybe a linebacker, because they play 4 or 5 wide receiver sets,
Oh yeah.
and so
They,
the
they stretch it out. They air it out. They
the
stretch
third
off
and fourth
spread offense.
cornerback, I don't know if the third and fourth cornerback on your team could stop AJ Green. So that could be a real big target for him, you know. So I expect them to have a lot of air yards this year. Kyler Murray definitely airing it out.
Okay. I like that. I like that. Next guy, Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals, LSU product, won a national championship. Had his homeboy, Jamar Chase from LSU, the number 1 wide receiver, came and got drafted. He's with his boy. What do you think, Cincinnati? Joe Burrow, is he going to have big money yards?
I don't think so.
Oh my
Not this year,
God.
man.
Why you say that to my
I think
boy, man?
coming off the injury he just came off of.
Oh my
Oh
God.
man, I think it's gonna take some time for him to get it all together. You know, that's a major injury he just went through, and so as a dynamic player as he is, he can't be on that leg. He can't move around, which he don't move around like that, but he you know, that's a part of his game, that quickness, and so I just don't think he's gonna be as good as he probably could be.
Oh my
I think
God.
we gotta wait till next year to really see that Joe Burrow
Oh.
emergence again.
I hate to say it to you, my brother, but I'm going for the guy, the Burrow, the Barrel, the guy who's got the arm, the guy who's won a national championship. I believe Burrow is going to throw the ball for 4,000 yards this year. He's got
4,000 yards.
4,000 yards this year. He's got a guy in Jamar Chase who is phenomenal. He's going to be a superstar. He had problems trying to catch the ball, but that's just the first week jitters. It's the preseason, baby. But when you look at what this guy, Joe Burrow, has been able to do, especially with the spread offense, the cannon that he has on his arm, big time throws, big time plays, his decision making in the NFL, even though he got hurt on last year, some of the throws that I've seen him throw were immaculate. The guy has grit, he has strength, he can scramble, he can get out of the pocket, he can throw out of the pocket, and it put Patrick Mahomes-esque type way. I'm looking for Mahomes and Chase, a guy he does not have to get acclimated to his system because he already knows how Joe Burrow likes the routes to be going. These guys are going to put on a show in Cincinnati. Kendall, I'm willing to put big money on Burrow this season and place a wager, 20 push-ups, that Burrow will be getting big money yards, 4,000 yards this year passing.
20 push-ups on Burrow getting 4,000 yards.
4,000 yards, baby, passing. What do you say about that?
I'm down.
All right.
Because ain't no way. It ain't happening. Not this year.
I'm telling you, Kendall, big money yards. The next guy that everybody is talking,
especially with Jamar Chase dropping balls like he was doing,
is jitters, baby. You know, in the NFL, the lights is bright, Kendall. You know the lights are bright. Because the lights are bright, sometimes you get a little afraid.
And they get brighter when the actual game.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that. But you're talking about these are professionals.
2 million people watching you.
Oh, yeah. That's true. But these guys are professionals, and I think these guys are going to do good together just because of the repertoire that they've been. Kendall, the guy out of Chicago. No, you know what? I'm not going to go to this guy in Chicago. The guy that torched us last year against the Saints, even though Taysom Hill was the quarterback, Jalen Hurts. We see his arm, what he's capable to do. Alabama product, was phenomenal at Alabama. His first time at the helm, getting big numbers to play the whole season. Big money yards. Jalen Hurts, what do you think?
No, of course not.
Oh, wow. No, Jalen Hurts?
No. If we call him big money yards, at least over 4,000, no way. Not happening.
You don't think Jalen Hurts has the ability to put up 4,000 yards?
No, I don't think so. That kid did not look great after he played us. that was kind of it. He had that spark against us, and one thing we know, Sean Payton does not do well against rookie quarterbacks. For some reason, he just can't handle it. Like
now he threw for almost 1,100 yards. That was only 4 or 5 games. So you're talking about, you give him 13 more games.
But he wasn't. No.
The numbers are looking like he has ability to do this. That's what the numbers are looking like.
I don't think so. I just don't see it happening. The kid's not good enough.
Wow.
I think he can probably put up 28, maybe 31. But 4,000 yards, not this year, not that team. Who's he even throwing to? Who's his top 2 wide receivers? Nobody.
Well, yeah, I mean, Philly they're actually really in a restructuring year, and that receiving core, as you know, they're just basically in the process of restructuring. And that's what we have. You got Devontae Smith and Jalen Reagor, and Whiteside. Those guys, and Andre Patton. Nobody knows that if you're not a real sports commentator, or if you haven't been looking at Philly. So they got a group of young receivers, a young quarterback. It's going to take them time to get things going in Philly. And so I think that Hurts has the ability to put big money yards. He has a wonderful arm. I think he can do it with those receivers. Drew Brees and didn't always have phenomenal receivers or receiving core. I would say that he never really had a phenomenal receiving core. He's always had that one player that he worked with and he'd make mesh. And so I think Hurts will be able to get things done. And I think big money yards for Hurts, I think he'll be able to do somewhere between 38 and 4,100 yards. So I'm going to go with big money yards for my guy Hurts as well, because I just like Hurts. I like what he represents, even though I'm not an Alabama fan, but I do like me some Hurts. Kiddo, I really want you to think hard about this one. What NFL player, young or could be old, that you think is going to make a splash this year? I'm talking about people have written him off. People say that he may not have been able to perform at his best. What player that you're looking at on your screen that you're saying, this guy is going to make a splash this year?
Splash? I think the clear, obvious answer is James Winston.
Ooh, all right.
My boy coming with at least 4,000 yards.
Okay.
26 touchdowns.
All right.
Something like that. I'm expecting big things this year. So James Winston, that's my first pick. But I think Russell Wilson's gonna have a good year this year, though.
Well, I don't think he's a
I wouldn't say he is either, but
he's a guy that performs at a high
level
every single year. I mean, he's a guy that really gets it going. He's a guy that really is phenomenal at what he's doing. Now, let's go to Jameis.
No. I do got one. I think Odell. Might have a great.
That's what we're talking about now.
It's been 3-4 years since Odell has really, put up big numbers.
Yeah.
Even the last couple of years with the Giants wasn't really a great year for him.
Right.
So I think my boy could really show out this year. It seems that Baker Mayfield has gotten pretty adjusted, pretty calm in the pocket. Yeah. They have one of the best running games in the game, bro. Two of the best backs back there, Kareem Hunt, who's a beast, and then he's your number 2. You got Nick Chubb as number 1. So with that, you got Jarvis Landry on the other side, opposite of him. And they got Njoku still as a tight end. I mean, the team's loaded. You know what I'm saying? So I think this will be a year Odell could really show out and show up and really prove that he still got a little bit left in the tank.
Okay, I like that Odell. Odell, as many of people from Louisiana know, he's a guy that just get numbers, get yards in bunches, and if he gets going, he has the capability like what we've seen as a 15 when he had 1,450 yards, and he started his rookie year with 1,305 yards. So we know what he's capable of doing. Odell is the guy. He's a monster. I'm looking for big things with Baker Mayfield on one side, Jarvis Landry on the opposite side of him, left to right. That's a lot of competition for the ball, but we know, I believe that, Odell's going to be able to love 100 yards. But the guy that you've been missing, Kendall, and everybody knows, the guy who has been blessed to share the same birth year as me, 1993, in the month of September, from Sulphur, Louisiana. The guy, by the way, in Mississippi State, we all know, we all hate him because he plays for the most abysmal team in the world. I'm talking about number 4 for the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott, I'm telling you, he got that horrible injury to his leg on last year. He's going to be showing out, and I believe, Kendall, hot take of the year, he's going to put up numbers that are similar to Patrick Mahomes. I'm talking about somewhere between 4,400 yards. He has the capability of doing it. We have seen it before. In 2019, he put down 4,902 yards, 30 touchdowns, and limit to 11 interceptions, 99.7 passer rating. Mike Scott is going to do some great things. He's got Mike Gallup. He's got a whole bunch of receivers. He's got your boy Ezekiel Elliott. It's going to be a show in Dallas. I ain't saying they're winning. I'm not saying they're going to playoffs. But what I see from Dak Prescott, and what I see he's capable of doing, I say he's my splash boy. He's going to do something big this year, 4,000 yards. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm going with. Kendall, I'm going to let you.
He might do all right. That's all I can say.
Why are you limiting him, Kendall? Why are you limiting his numbers?
Well, I mean, the guy has been good. He's hopefully he continues to get better. But he has been just good, been fine. I haven't seen him be amazing. Like
4,902 yards is amazing.
I mean,
amazing.
I'm talking arm talent. You don't see that, you go, ooh, man, that was a great throw. He has good receivers. Got Amari Cooper out there. He had the great O-line. He just has to be good, and as long as he's good, they'll be fine. But a breakout year to prove he earned that money, I don't know. I'd have to see at least a game. See him at least throw a ball this year, So I don't know. We'll see in this opener. You think he has a chance of winning that game?
Oh, of course.
Wow.
I believe so. I mean, you're talking about a guy. Dak Prescott he's no guy that's going to give up. They're playing Tampa Bay. They're playing the Tampa Bay in the opener. You got Tom Brady
beating the Bucks.
You're not the same Tom Brady from last year. Of course, we're talking about if you've seen the numbers of what Tom Brady has done after he's won.
He better start running.
About running what? The football?
He better start running like Lamar Jackson.
No, of course not. Of course not.
He took his knee brace off. He about to go hit the track.
No. When you look at Tom Brady's stats years after Super Bowl wins, they're not good. When you go to a couple of years back, he had the 3,554 yards.
They repeated one time.
Huh?
Didn't he repeat? Didn't they repeat one time?
I mean, he did 3-3. Yeah, he's done a bunch of those. What I'm just saying is that when we see as of late, when he does go after a Super Bowl season, he's got that 3,554 yarder, and sub 4,000, sub 4,200 yards. He's a great quarterback. But 2019 he had that 88 passer rating. 2014 he had the 97.4. In 2013 he had the 87.3 passer rating. So these are years that we see that he has dwindled production. And I think that's going to happen this year. Not to say that he's not going to be a good quarterback. I believe in the Saints is going to take the division just because we have a better team. I believe defensively. We have a better team, a better coach team. Bruce Arians is a guy who likes to let it fly. That's what he's looking at Tom Brady. I think that's going to cost them this year, and that's why I have the Saints winning the division. What do you see?
I'm not going to claim the division just yet.
Oh my God!
But we're definitely going to the wild card at least.
Yes, we want.
But we could take it because we own this division right now.
Of course, it's our
The
division.
Panthers really haven't done much. The Falcons haven't done a lot to impress either.
Correct. Nothing to impress. Nothing to impress.
And so the only competition really is the Bucks, and that all depends on how Tom Brady looks. So with Tom Brady aging another year,
that's right.
You just have to see. But
yes,
they're as good as they were. Then they were a pretty good team, man. You know, even though we did beat them twice in the season, in the regular season, when it all came down to it, we couldn't beat them when we needed to most.
Well, that was because Breeze was the weak link, and you know that just as much as I know that. It came down with Breeze. Breeze was the guy that really made them the weak link, and I think this is going to be a different team, have more firepower, and that's what you're going to see from the Saints. But you know, a lot of times we've been getting a lot of questions saying, "Stop talking about the Saints." So, I want to go into this? We talked about the guy that's going to have the biggest splash. You gave me Odell. I went Dak Prescott. Which NFL team you think everybody is sleeping on that is not the Saints? I want to get your reiteration on that.
I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
Kendall. You know who I'm going to say. It's a team that has been, doing great. I think Baltimore is really being slept on just because of what Lamar Jackson. He didn't play his best last year. I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. I think the pieces that they're going to put around him is really going to give him the ability to perform at a very high level. And I think everything surrounds him. Still has a great defense. Still have great players. Hollywood Brown is a great player, and all these different guys who surrounds him that really gives him the ability to make his offense, do great. A lot of people were talking a little bit about Lamar Jackson, saying that he's just a guy that doesn't have the ability to make those big time throws. He's a guy that can scramble. He's a guy that's like Michael Vick. But what I see from his arm, he's capable of making good reads, and that's why I believe the Baltimore Ravens is a team that is slept on. I think they're going to do good in the division. I think they have a chance to beat Pittsburgh in that division. There's going to be a lot of things that we're going to be looking at. Of course, with Cleveland in that division as well, who's going to be able to come up with a toss-up to be able to win and not go to the wild card. But I do believe that Baltimore will be in the playoffs, and then this will be a season for Lamar Jackson to show us again why he was the NFL MVP. And I believe that he's going to be a team that people say, you know what, maybe Baltimore, their magic is not doing what it needs to do. Maybe they're not going to be able to perform at a high level and do the things that they have done previous years before. I believe that Baltimore is going to be a team that's going to make a splash this year. And they're going to be a team that everybody said last year, they're not coming back. They're going to be a team that's coming back. And Kendall, I want to get your analogy. Who you think is going to do good?
Well, I think this is kind of hilarious because my team for the AFC was going to be the Steelers. And, Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. He's always hovering around 10 wins. They went on quite the streak last year with 11 wins and then losing 6 straight. But I think that they will be returning to greatness. They will be showing up once again to claim their division, or at least get one of those wild card spots. And I think they got a new running back, Najee, if I remember correctly.
Najee Harris from Alabama. You got to pronounce the man name right. He's a proud time performer and an NCAA champion.
So definitely that's going to improve that running game that was so abysmal last year. They couldn't control the clock. They couldn't do anything with the running game.
That's right.
I think been through the ball almost 50 times one game. So and you can't do that to an old man like that, throwing the ball that much. I know been worked out a little bit this year, trying to regain some of his youth, but a little late for that, buddy. But I think that with Mike Tomlin as the head coach, with a new running back, with Big Ben being Big Ben and the production that he can create,
that's right.
That they'll win 11 to 12 games this year. They'll regain some prominence, and and really make that division is gonna be tough to win right there, man.
Oh yeah, I
These
mean,
are tough divisions.
they're starting with Bills Mafia, Josh Allen. You're talking about Diggs. Oh my God, you're talking about some guys who are really going to let it fly. What do you see from that game, and do you think they have the ability to go in Buffalo and win the first week, knowing that they have the number one receiver and a top 10, most voted NFL top 100 quarterback in Josh Allen? What are you saying from that?
No, I think they could probably get that game.
You think they could beat Bills Mafia?
Yeah, they could probably get that game. Starting off early, Ben
In Buffalo.
Roethlisberger,
In Buffalo.
he's coming off healthy.
Oh no, come on.
I think people have overhyped Josh Allen.
Oh wow. Come on, kid. You can't say that. Please do not say that.
A little overhyped, a little too far. I think everybody needs to calm down. He's had one good year. Good year, bro. One.
This guy threw for 4,544 yards with 37 touchdowns and 10 interceptions with a 107.2 passer rating. And you're going to say it's just 1 year, Kendall?
Yeah. It was a good game. Good game. But come on, bro.
Come on, man.
They'll be okay. They with the who they got now is Cole Beasley, Stephon Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders. These are good wide receivers. And they'll do good. He'll probably throw for another 4,000 yards, but I don't think he's gonna go much further than he went last year. And I don't think they can beat the Steelers this first game. I think the Steelers can pull it off. They got the experience.
What are you seeing from the Steelers that you think the Bills don't have to pull it off? What are you seeing from the Steelers that you say, you know what? I think they have the ability to take this game. What is their strongest point? And to me, it's their defense. I don't think their offense is their strongest point. So what do you see from the Steelers that's saying, you know what, they can go in Buffalo and win the game?
Well, I think that D is pretty good. It's solid. And I just think with Big Ben in the early part of the season, he's going to be well rested, and he's still Big Ben. He still can create about 6 to 8 seconds in a pocket, just being as big as he is,
right.
Which allows for wide receivers to get open. And if you have any semblance of a run game,
yes,
they're just a great team.
Yeah,
I think the Bills have been good, but it's been a lot of hype. I don't know.
I don't think so. The Bills are here to stay.
I just don't know if it's a thing that's going to progress further, because they did this with Carson Wentz. They did this with Jared Goff. Had a good season and then decided to pay that person a whole lot of money. And once you get all that money, waking up early in the morning feel a whole lot different. You know what I'm saying? That's what they say. It's what the quote is. It's hard to do road work when you wake up in silk pajamas or something like that.
I never heard that quote before. Where you got that one from?
It's a fighting quote, right? Road work is you go and run and stuff in the morning.
Oh yeah.
But when you get all that money, man, you it's hard to get that same grind. Do we have the mentality to still grind and to try to strive to be great? Who knows?
We can say the same thing for a declining Roethlisberger and your guy Juju Smith-Schuster, which has been limiting production from his year 2018 when he had 1,426 yards. And it doesn't seem like Ben is targeting him, because that year he had 111 receptions. He's now this year had 97 receptions with only 831 yards, and he had 9 touchdowns, which means his production for touchdowns has increased. But getting the ball to him at decreased. Do you believe that Ben Roethlisberger has lost trust with his star route receiver, Juju Smith-Schuster?
No,
I believe Juju Smith-Schuster has been playing too many video games on Fortnite and not been focused on football.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. I think what happened was Juju went from being the number 2 receiver to the number 1 receiver. And when that happens, you get better defense on you. And so a good quarterback knows where to throw the ball and what's open when. And so, his targets went down some
Yes, yes,
because Ben's not forcing him the ball,
right, correct,
and he's not the open guy now because the next guy is gonna take open and attack the number 2 cornerback,
right,
So
right.
that's what I think happened with Ju. It wasn't like he wasn't still balling out there. Just you going against number 1 corner now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good corners, out there. I really want to go to this last question. We only have about 8 minutes left on the show, Kendall. Uh, this is a question that many commentators have been talking about. I really want to get you back on the live cover by cover coverage right here and put our overlay back on so that people can see you and get to hear you and get to hear this. Which team is most likely to return to the Super Bowl? When you look at the depth chart and all the pieces that the Chiefs have and Tampa Bay have, you look at all the players, you look at all the talent, you look at the quarterback, you look at the coaching system. What team you say, you know what? This team is the team that's going to the Super Bowl. Who you like most, the Chiefs or Tampa Bay?
Well,
Who is pondering for you?
this
Let's
is
ponder.
this is quite the easy question.
Okay, let's go.
The clear and obvious answer.
I know who you're gonna say. The real winning right, the Chiefs in Kansas City.
Yeah, that's the clear and obvious answer.
That's right.
They definitely they own the AFC right now.
That's right. They own football.
Pretty much nobody who can beat this team when Patrick Mahomes has a clean pocket.
That's right. That's right.
So
Tyreek Hill.
This year will be all about getting the O-line gelled enough to where they can play and be successful in the playoffs. Because other than that, you're not stopping them. Tyreek Hill, fastest guy on the field.
That's right.
Travis Kelce, big, burly.
Best tight end ever in football, probably.
Catch everything.
Yes.
The guy's amazing. So there's just no stopping this team. And the Buccaneers kind of, they just got there. Like their team is fine. It's a good team, solid defense was crushing it toward the end. But I think they're gonna have the tougher road. You still got to go through Russell Westbrook. You got to go through the Packers, and then you're gonna have to come see the Saints.
That dome, baby. When I tell you they're gonna be in that dome, we're gonna have 80,000 fans. Well, they said 72,000, but I believe that's 8,000.
You gotta come see us twice. And we might beat y'all twice again.
Dome! That's what I'm talking about.
So I believe we're gonna be pretty good this year.
That's right.
And so it's definitely the Chiefs. It's definitely the Chiefs. They're the only ones who can make it back because nobody else over there really beats them. Like
I agree with you wholeheartedly. If you begin to look at the offensive scheme of the Chiefs and be able to see what they have done the whole year, switching schemes, adjustments that have been done, audibles that they do, Patrick Mahomes' glorious arm, Tyreek Hill, fast skills, offensive line is one of the best that we've seen in football. Defense, of course, we know is their weakest link, predominantly in their secondary. I think they're going to make some adjustments in that area with some of the picks that they haven't made, and of course, with trades. But the Chiefs are the obvious answer, and they're probably the number one team in football still because they have not only a great coach in Andy Reid and what he's able to have done over the last 3 years. Kendall, I have to give you the props. You were one of the guys in fantasy that really adopted Patrick Mahomes early in his career. You were the guy that picked him out early in his career. And I have to give you some doubt on that, some dap on that, and really let you know that was a great pick. Many guys didn't know who Patrick Mahomes was at that time and don't know what he was capable of doing. He's a guy that's been able to be consistent. He's almost the Steph Curry of NFL football. Do you believe that is accurate, that Patrick Mahomes is the Steph Curry of NFL football?
That's a pretty good comparison.
Oh, yeah,
I think that's a pretty decent comparison right there. That's pretty good. Definitely, he came in changing the game, doing things other people can't necessarily do.
That's right.
Basically doing things in the game that you would only do in practice as trick plays and things like that.
Right.
Across the body, the no looks, all that kind of stuff. Those are things you're supposed to be doing when you're playing around, not actually in a game. And so the guy is definitely making a new type of player for the NFL quarterback
That's
position,
right. That's
which
right.
Steph Curry basically did the same thing for the guard position with the crazy far bomb threes, with the barrage of 3 pointers.
Yes.
Definitely changed the game to a new type of guard.
Right. Absolutely right. I want to go into our last topic on a more lighter note, Kendall. It's two things I want to talk about, and was a big discussion on USA Today. If you have ever received the article, do you believe that cheerleaders, especially in the NFL, have a big part to play in NFL culture? Are people really looking at the cheerleaders? Are people really looking at the cheerleading halftime show? What do you think about that? Do you believe that cheerleaders are a part of NFL culture? I want to get you into that.
Are they a part of it? Yeah, definitely.
Okay. A
Um,
big part, a main part.
I I think if they weren't there, people would probably notice. If
Okay.
there weren't any dancers or any cheerleaders, then people go, "Huh, they don't have cheerleaders here." Now,
Mm-hmm.
would you like not watch the game because of that? No,
That's right.
but you would definitely, it definitely enhances your experience because you're,
Mm.
used to the people cheering, cheerleaders cheering. But I
That's
guess it's
right.
not even like you can hear them or anything. Um,
No, of course not.
but yeah, I definitely think it's
Mm.
a part of the sport. So it's a
Mm.
part of it, definitely.
Do you believe that having cheerleaders is a part of a perverse, perverted culture in football or in sports that need to be taken out? Do you believe that the cheerleaders are too sexy for television and they need to be taken out because it's too perverse? I want to get your take on
I think
that.
if
Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
wants to wear what they want to wear, you have the freedom to wear it. If you want to get out there and do it, you can. There are definitely women who want to dress provocatively and or who are dancers, and it's a part
Mhm.
of just the outfit. Uh,
Do you believe dressing in a bra and skirts is provocatively? Some women be saying this is just regular attire, this is regular dress, this is not provocatively attire, provocative attire. And by you saying that, you're being a sexist pig, saying that this is provocative, this is just regular attire, just like a man wearing some type of sleeveless shirt. The same thing. What would you say to that to a cheerleader?
uh, hmm. Is it provocative? Maybe.
That's right.
If it gets the people moving.
That's right. If
Uh,
it gets them going, I can know. That's right.
yeah, bro. So, but you're allowed to be provocative if you want to. That's your right to be
That's your right
provocative.
as an American citizen.
So,
Correct.
so who cares? Um, you know, I don't know. I don't know. What's wrong with cheerleaders?
I don't know. There's a lot of people saying that it's too sexy for television. It's too sexy for the kids to watch. It's too sexy to even be displayed on a national level. I wanted to get your
You're
understanding on that.
watching brutal violence. What's Who cares if there's something sexy? Like, you're watching two men run into
Kill
each
each
other
other,
at
right?
full
Yeah.
speed.
Full speed. That's right.
People trying to kill each other out there. This is a brutal sport. You know, it's not a game for I don't know, for the faint of heart. So
Yeah, that's
who
true.
cares if you got
Two,
adult women?
two more questions, Kendall. The Jags, they got Trevor Lawrence. Do you think they have the ability to win over 3 games this season? I want your take on that.
Yeah, I think they'll win more than 3 games this
You
year.
think so? I think
I
Trevor
think
Lawrence. I mean, that line is still horrible. When we see from that
so.
preseason game, if he's got those guys, he's gonna die. I mean, he's gonna literally die. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Cause I'm very scared for this young fella.
I mean, you should be, but I think he knows that. I'm hoping Urban Myers knows that, and so um, they should be preparing for those situations.
That's right. They should be prepared for those situations. Kendall, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Listen, we got Kendall Spears, our senior sports correspondent, with us. Kendall, we cannot leave this broadcast without talking fantasy football. Tell the people a little bit about your team. Tell the people a little bit about your wide receiver core and who you think are going to be the top performers for your team this year. The people got to know. They want to know who have you drafted, who have you been looking at as sleepers, how you been organizing your team for Thursday. You know, Thursday they got some games. Maybe your team is not playing on Thursday. I got some guys playing Thursday. How have you been organizing your team to get you there in the deep playoff? As I know, me and Kendall, we are deep playoff fantasy players. So every year we're in the playoffs. Of course, last year he lost to me in the Super Bowl championship. I'm the champion of last year. That's just how great I am. Kendall, how have you been preparing your fantasy football team to really get there in the playoffs? Tell us a little bit about your draft picks.
My team's fired. That's all you need to know.
Oh no, Kendall. We need to know. We need to know who you pick, who you want, who you're trying to get. That's what the people want to know.
Well, first off, I got the GOAT. And so, I'm definitely always going to be solid there.
Who's Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady?
Tom Brady. You know who the GOAT is.
I don't know.
So, got the GOAT at quarterback, and I got the young man, Trevor Lawrence, as quarterback as my backup.
Oh, no, that sucks.
So, we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, that's horrible.
And then from there, let's see. I got Kyle Pitts, the tight end.
Tight end for Minnesota?
For Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta.
The new young guy who they felt so good about. They gave away Julio Jones. So
Julio Jones.
This guy better be fired this year. You know what I'm saying? Well, we'll see.
You picked him.
We'll see. Who else? You looking at the team? Who else is on there?
I don't know who on your team. I'm trying to find out.
That's good enough. That's all you need to know.
Let's go to the league. Hold on, let me see here. So Kendall's name is, I don't even know what your name is. Let's see here. Kendall Spears. Kendall. You're not even on. Oh, no prisoners. That's a stupid name. I don't know why you put no prison. So he's got Tom Brady, Saquon Barkley, Chris Carson, Odell Beckham, Juju Smith-Schuster, who we talked about, Travis Kelce, who's a prime-time performer, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's a prime-time performer, the Bills' defense, which is not bad, and Matt Prater. I don't know why he did that. He's got Mike Thomas out because he's been hurt. He's got Antonio Brown, which is a good pick. I should have got him. And so Trevor Lawrence, and I really think, Kendall, you should probably make an adjustment from Thursday night and put Trevor Lawrence against Houston. I think he's going to do phenomenal, over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. So you might need to make an adjustment for this Thursday and take Tom Brady out because I think he's going to be a detriment to your team this week.
I'm good.
No, you need to make that adjustment. I'm telling you, going to my.
I'm gonna stay with the GOAT.
The GOAT?
Opening day.
You making goat curry at your house?
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stick with the GOAT.
You're gonna stick with goat curry? That's fine. That's fine. But when you look at a team that's really a champions, I really dropped the ball on running backs. I got
who's your team? What's your team?
Well, first of all, I started with the number 1 quarterback in football, Patrick Mahomes, of course. Devontae Adams, who is the number 1 receiver in football, of course. The number 1 defense, which is the Steelers, of course. And the number 1 kicker in Harrison Butker. Okay. Then I go down and get Justin Jefferson, the guy who had 13-something hundred yards out of Minnesota, who's also an LSU byproduct and a wonderful Louisiana gentleman, as when he's done. I went and got Brandon. What? No, it wasn't.
That was probably a rookie fluke.
No, he's going to perform. You know that. I got Brandon Cooks because they said he was a prime-time performer last year. He had 1,150 yards. He's not a touchdown guy, but he's a guy that can get you 10 points every game. And if he does suck, I went and got my guy, Marquise Callaway, who I'm going to probably put Mike Gallup out of Tampa Bay, who plays for Dallas, and put Marquise Callaway.
You should just do that now. I'll take Cooks out now and put Callaway in.
What you mean?
Take Cooks out, put Callaway in.
I don't know. I need to see some things. I need to see some things. I don't know how Brandon Cooks is going to perform.
You done saw that man all
Oh
preseason killing.
yeah. See. That's the thing, Kendall. That's the thing. That's why I'm the winner of last year, and that's why you're the loser. But Kendall, we always enjoy. It's an hour.
So
I
what
want to
running
get.
backs you got?
I have trash as running backs. I have this guy by the name. I don't even know these guys. One guy by the name of Mike Miles Sanders. He was a big time performer. 867 yards last year, 6 touchdowns. With the Philadelphia Eagles, starting running back, and then I have also Chase Edmonds, who I guess is the starting running back, maybe second running back for Arizona Cardinals. So those are the guys that I have, and I think that's going to be the reason why I possibly don't do too much. I'm going to be looking for guys in the waiver wires. Whoever is doing big week one, don't worry, I'll be getting them. Somebody's going to get hurt, and I'm going to get that guy off the waiver wire. It's okay, it's okay.
Well, you
So
had a chance, you missed it. Should
what?
have picked up Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell? Why would I get Le'Veon Bell? Le'Veon Bell sucked last year. He's trash.
He about to be probably the only running back for the Ravens, which is another reason why they're probably not going to do as great this year. Everybody makes him hurt.
Yeah, they suck. They suck. I'm not giving no Le'Veon Bell. I'm not. That is just trash. That is trash, Kendall. You have not been watching football if you want me to get Le'Veon Bell. There's a lot of good. I was trying to get Clyde Edwards-Helaire before you took him. The problem that I had, I went Devontae Adams too early. That's the problem that I went. I was trying to get Diggs. Somebody got him. I tried to get Tyreek Hill. Somebody received him, which was stupid because I could have had him.
Who was your first pick?
My first pick was Adams.
Yeah. So you wasn't gonna get him after the first pick?
Of course not. Somebody was gonna get him. But I got Patrick Mahomes in the third round, which was good.
It's not. You could have got Patrick in the fourth or fifth round.
I mean, I still got great receivers. I'm just looking for what Jamar Chase and what Marquise Callaway can do. Those guys show me they can perform. It's already over. Season over. The season is already in my hands. Just because I'm just that great at performing. Kendall, I want to go into a big thing. We talked a little bit about sports. Now we got to talk about games. You got the new Madden. And is it nice to you? Is it wonderful to you?
It's fine. It's good.
It's good.
It's all right.
What NFL game revolutionized your life? Whether it be Madden, whether it be Blitz, what NFL game where you played it where you was like, I got to continue with playing this? For me, it was Blitz. Playing it at the arcade, I enjoy Blitz more than Madden. But for a lot of guys who are real Madden heads, they really enjoy Madden more than Blitz. What game really gave you the tickles in your winter ferry every night? Was it?
What the hell are you talking about?
Was it Blitz?
What is a winter ferry?
I'll let you know after the show because I'll tell you what that is after the show. But what team? What was giving? Oh my God, I lost my train of thought. What game was more profound to you? Was it Blitz or Madden?
I mean, Madden
or Streets, NFL Streets.
NFL Streets was more fun than any of them, but yes. Madden was definitely the better game, for sure. So we'll have to say Madden, I guess.
Madden, what year?
The best year?
The best year.
That was probably maybe 05, the year with Vic on the cover.
Oh, yes. That's actually the year 04. The year 05 is none other than the Baltimore Ravens, Ray Lewis.
But yeah, so that'll probably be the year where Madden became like that game,
Yeah.
It was just super fun running around, throwing with Vic, just having a ball.
That's good.
It's crazy.
I would have to go with I would
go, points on you.
Yeah, I would have to go with that year as well. Also with the Baltimore Ravens, that year 2005 was also the year of the hit stick. I think that transformed the Madden game to be the number one game in sports. People talk about 2K, but Madden is where it's at. More people buy Madden, I believe, than 2K. And that's just the game that revolutionized the world. Kendall, my last question, and we got to get off. We got to get off. If you can go get tickets to any NFL sports arena, the arena that you always wanted to go to sit down and enjoy the atmosphere, what arena would you be going to this season?
I think I'd probably go to the Jerry World. Go check out the super large TV screen.
Is it because of the hot, sexy cheerleaders that you like to watch every day?
Oh,
Dallas girls. Oh my
number
God.
one reason.
You are so perverted, Kendall.
Number one reason to go.
You're a perverse man.
That's why they put them out there.
That's right. That's why they put them out there. But I would go to Tampa Bay because they have the most beautiful cheerleaders in the world. That's why I don't care about them. It's about the cheerleaders. The cheerleaders are the ones that makes the show.
Exactly.
The cheerleaders are the ones that make you go, Kendall. And the Sensations got some of the top cheerleaders in the world, Kendall. I know you'd be looking at the Sensations. They told me about that. The Sensations cheerleaders. I knew you liked them. Yeah, Kendall, you like them.
Yeah, the best in the world. You know that.
What arena have you been to, Kendall? Let's go to another topic, my last one, because I gotta really get off. That has the best popcorn or best refreshment from their arena. I know the one that I like. I know when I go to the games, what I love. But the best refreshment you ever had at an arena is where?
I don't know.
No, come on, Kendall. You gotta go on your brain. Let's go. Best refreshment. Best refreshment.
I don't think I've even considered this.
You have.
What was the?
When you taste that cotton candy, when you taste that pretzel, when you taste that popcorn, it melts in your mouth. What refreshment? No, it's not. It's a different level of pop. The popcorn in San Francisco Giants Stadium Oracle Park is way on a higher performance than the Superdome trash that they give you. You know, the pretzels are more fresher.
Okay.
Come on, Kendall.
Well, when I go, I'll let you know. But
you've been to Atlanta, you've been to Dallas. Tell me the sports arena, the best. When you go to that Superdome, when you go to that arena, tell me what you get. The chicken tenders, they fry, the grease just ripping off your mouth. You just eat it. You just sucking on your fingers. Tell me what you love, Kendall. I love the garlic fries at Oracle Park. And the best thing I love is the refreshments at the Smoothie King Arena. That bread pudding, the fried bread pudding just gets me going. I've got to get the fried bread pudding every night. Tell me what you like, Kendall. Tell me what you love.
I love watching the game, man. I don't go.
Kendall, no, you don't. You go with Christian and y'all get a refreshment. I know you get a refreshment. What is the refreshment that y'all enjoy together?
Leonard, I think this has been a good podcast for everybody. Appreciate y'all listening to us this week.
That's right.
We'll be back with y'all next week.
Every
Tuesday, every Wednesday.
That's right.
Make it happen.
We be back every week. We're here. I think Kendall, with the partners at Restream, Kendall Spears, as you see his name right now, is our live correspondent. Join us every Tuesday and Thursday. We're on Facebook and YouTube live, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And again, we want you to follow us on Twitter where we get our live sports analysis. I'm going right now on Twitter Voice. I'm going to be live. Maybe Kendall might join us. I'm going to be asking some of your questions live in about 10 minutes. We want you to get on there 8:30. We're going to be asking some more unfiltered, unresponsive questions. We're trying to get commercials here. We're trying to get deals here. So we cannot be as unrestricted as we want to on here. But on Twitter, we get to say what we want. We'll begin back on live. Kendall, give the people the last things that you want to say about sports. What do you see? What do you like? Some of the teams, some of the players. Give us our last hit, and we're going on out for the night. What are you seeing? What are you seeing? What are the Saints going to do at the end of the year, Kendall?
Well, of course, Black and go to the Super Bowl, baby. That's what we're doing this year. We're gonna be a solid team, man. Solid 11, 12-win team. I think Green Bay's gonna be good. I'd like to see what Aaron Rodgers is gonna do this year. Like to see what Russell's gonna do this year. I think those are going to be our top 4 teams. We got a lot of new rookie quarterbacks out there. Can't wait to see which one of them are going to flop and completely fail. It's going to be interesting. 5 drafted in the first round. Somebody's going to do horrible this year. So,
Right.
so I ask you that: who you think is going to be the guy who does terrible? Because statistically, somebody has to fail.
Well, when you look at rookies, there's a lot of guys that you can look at. A lot of guys got drafted to a lot of great teams, and they're going to really have to get the ground running as soon as they start. So you got Chase. It could possibly be 50-50 with him. You got Zach Wilson. You got Justin Fields, Devontae Smith, and Najee Harris. But when you look at a guy that may have the most to lose, with Chicago and the way they like to play and the style they like to play, I think he has the most pressure. Justin Fields has the most pressure from Chicago, and he could possibly be a bust. There's just going to be more games in the NFC. It's more fast paced. He's going to have to make decisions in real time. He's going to have to make big throws, and that's why I say it's possible or highly probable that he could be a bust. Just seeing what they want him to do and what they're requesting for him to do out there in Chicago, it's going to be a lot for him. He's going to have to get it together. If he doesn't perform in the first 3 games, I think he's going to be a bust, and that's who I'm going to. Who you're looking at? Who you think is going to be a bust?
I think it'll probably be Mac Jones.
With the Mac Jones. Yeah, they got rid of your boy Cam. I knew that was going to happen. I told you that.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, he had to go, but yeah, I just don't see it happening. I don't know. He just didn't. He don't look that good to me. So we'll see. We'll see. Either him or yeah, I think that's it. I think I have to go Mac Jones.
Yeah, Mac, the thing is the Belichick way. That's the problem that he's going to be having. I've seen him do a lot of great throws. I told you at the beginning of the season, Cam was gone. I didn't see
him or Trey Lance, but yeah,
Mac. Yeah. Mac, we're going to see. He's got a great arm. What he did in New York was phenomenal. But again, it's a whole different system, whole different line of receivers. The Patriots receivers, they're not great. They're a talented bunch. They're good. They're decent, I would say. They're not great. So we'll see more. We'll hear more. We'll be watching more. We'll be back this week on Thursday, and we'll come back next Tuesday. We got a lot of more sports to talk about. We're still talking about football. Kendall, we'll see you again on Thursday. Greet the people. Let them know that you love them. Tell them goodbye, Kendall. And we're signing off for now. We'll see you again on Thursday.
Peace.
All right, guys. We'll see you again.